Here is a simple lesson that's totally misunderstood. 2 things you must know to create wealth. Now, I think I'd be fairly safe in saying at least 90% of everyone in this room wants to create wealth. And if I already got it, you want to create more. Because it involves growth. Going somewhere, doing something. What do you have to know? Just 2 things. Number 1, you have to know where you are. You have to know where you're going, and you've got to get moving. Now that is so simple, and it's so obvious, you have to ask yourself, why are so many people stuck? And they are. People are actually stuck. All they have to know is where they are and where they're going. Now you could say the problem is here, that they don't have a goal. And that could be the problem, but I don't think it's the real one. They might have the goal and still not even be moving toward it. Why? The problem is down here. It's down here. It's where you are. They're being controlled by a paradigm that they don't know, they don't understand, and yet it's keeping them right where they are. Now, these are intelligent people. These people could have passed some very, very difficult exams in school, but they're stuck. And they don't understand this. They do not understand paradigm, although it's a word you're starting to hear more of nowadays. But if you ask the average person what a paradigm is, most of them are at a loss to tell you. In fact, if you go start to look up paradigm, you're going to find answers coming from very intelligent people, behavioral scientists and psychologists, that the way it's written is so complicated you do not understand it. And yet we just talked about what it is. It's nothing but a program. It's a group of habits in the subconscious mind that's controlling our behavior. So the behavior is being controlled. You know how to do better, but you're not doing it, and you don't know why. Started out when you were a kid and your mother said, "Why'd you do that?" "I don't know." "What do you mean you don't know? You know better." "I know. Why? I don't know." You see, why would your parent keep asking you that question when they see that you're not doing it? I mean, you think just their observation would say there's got to be something going on inside this kid's head. And there is, and they put it there. I remember we were doing a seminar, Science Getting Rich, in Phoenix years ago. There was a woman, her name was Wendy, in London, England. She was going to the seminars in England. And she came to the seminar in Phoenix, to the Science Getting Rich, and she brought her 24-year-old son. And she said he didn't want to come. She asked him to come as a favor to her. She said, "You need what they're teaching. I know you need it because I built the program." She knew that she had programmed the wrong way. Now think of this. It doesn't matter how hard you work, how many hours you put in. If the paradigm does not change, ultimately the results will remain much the same from one year to the next. Now that is very discouraging for an intelligent individual. It really is. If a person is obviously not very bright, that's what they expect. They don't expect anything better than they're getting. But there's people that do expect better, and they're giving it everything they've got, and they're not getting it. What's the problem? It's their paradigm. Okay? Well, we've got to learn how to make decisions. And most people don't know how to make decisions. They really don't. That's too bad. He said, this is not a statement of theory. This is a fact. Procrastination, the opposite of decision, is a common enemy which practically every person must conquer. I have people coaching different times in Q&As where they ask me how to overcome procrastination. I tell them to read this chapter every day for maybe 60 days. It's a long chapter, but it's a good chapter. My God, he's got some good information in here. Okay? Now he says analysis of several hundred people who had experienced accumulated fortunes well beyond the $1 million mark disclosed the fact that every one of them had the habit of reaching decisions promptly and of changing the decisions slowly if and when they were changed. People who fail to accumulate money, without exception, have the habit of reaching decisions, if at all, very slowly and of changing them fast and often. Why did they do that? It's a lack of understanding. It's a lack of confidence. Confidence comes through understanding. Now, for years, I wondered, how the hell do they make their decisions so fast? I couldn't figure that out. Every one of them. They're few in number relative to the masses. And I never stopped studying it. And because that's what I was looking for, that's what I found. Seek and you will find is good advice. Let those lines represent levels of vibration. Okay? They're levels of vibration. Every frequency is connected to the one above and the one below. They're all connected. There's no line of demarcation where one frequency stops and another starts. They're all connected and they're all together. Think of this. That's my phone. That represents my phone. This represents your phone. If I want to talk to you on your phone, I've got to get on your frequency. The second I'm on your frequency, you and I are connected. Now think of this. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. You could be in Kota Kinabalu. You could be in Yokohama, Buenos Aires, anywhere in the world. If I dial your number, boom, like that, I'm connected to you. Makes no difference where you are. I could take a picture here, I could hit send, and simultaneous with me hitting it, you've got it. There's a great lesson here for us. There's no such thing as time and space. That's a myth. Here we are. We can take a picture right here and send it, hit send, and whoop, like that. On the other side of the world, the person's got it. Simultaneously with you hitting it. I'm working with one of the artsy people in the company all the time. And I'll say, okay, I just sent it. You get it? Yeah, I got it. Okay. Now, do you see what I'm talking about? Now send it, fix it and send it back. They'll send it back. You got it? Yeah, I got it. It didn't matter where we are. I could be on the plane. And back and forth. Now, we seem to have a basic understanding of this. I think what I'm saying here, everyone in the room understands this when we're using our phones. However, when it comes to life, we get lost. We don't seem to understand it. Well, let's try and understand it with respect to decisions. Let these lines represent levels of vibration, because that's all this is, level of vibration. I get on the same frequency as you. Okay? So we let these lines represent levels of vibration. Every vibration is referred to as a frequency. We operate on frequency. My voice is being amplified on a particular frequency. You and I think on frequencies. Thought is energy. Do you know your thoughts are the most potent form of energy there is? Your thought would make the laser beam look like a toy. Thought waves are cosmic waves that penetrate all time and space. I had the good fortune of working with Captain Edgar Mitchell. He was the captain of the lunar landing module on one of the Apollo flights. He was doing thought transference exercises from the other side of the moon with Ford and Sherman here in the southern United States. They were doing thought transference exercise. They had all set up the time they were going to do this. And he was on the other side of the moon and they were communicating. And that was all written up in a magazine. Can you do that? You not only can, you do. You'll have a friend a long ways away from you, and you're thinking about them a lot, and damn if the phone doesn't ring, it's them. You see, you're thinking, your thoughts activated cells in their brain, that got them thinking of you, and they phoned you. We do this all the time, okay? Now, let's suppose this is the frequency that you're thinking on. If that's the frequency you're thinking on, that's going to dictate the results that you get. The results you get are nothing but the manifestation of your own thinking. We become what we think about. That is the one point that every great leader has agreed on. They've disagreed in virtually every other idea, but that one, we become what we think about. Now let's clearly understand, nothing is created or destroyed. All science and all theology teach that. Nothing is created or destroyed. All the power there ever was or ever will be is omnipresent. All the ideas, all the knowledge there ever was or ever will be is omnipresent. It's all here. We didn't have to get it. We've already got it. What we got to do is tune into it. So let's say that's where we want to go. This is where I am. That's where I want to go. How do I get there? Well, I'll say I'm going to do that. This is where the average person is thinking, I'm going to do that as soon as I get the money. You can relate to that. I'm going to do that as soon as the kids are out of school. That's not going to do it. I'm going to start my own business as soon as I get the money. And you know, you do that, and pretty soon the decision fades, and then the goal fades. Why? Well, you didn't get the money, so you couldn't do it. Problem was, you didn't have the money. You talk to anybody that's high in finance, and they'll tell you the money is never the problem. Ideas are the problem. You got the right idea, you'll always find the money. Well, you see, we're thinking down here on this frequency. Your mind and your thoughts are down here on this frequency. What you want is up here on a higher frequency. You cannot get what you want up there while your thoughts are down here. Your mind and thoughts must focus on the same frequency as what you want. If you want it, it's already here. And you make a decision, it's got to be a committed decision. You say, I'm doing that. Now, the second you make a committed decision, everything starts to change. You begin to think and act like the person you want to become. You stop thinking down there, you're thinking up here now. You're thinking on a higher frequency. Want is the only prerequisite for making a decision. Doesn't matter whether you have the money, but do you really want it? If you really want it, you will get it. But you've got to really want it. Yet you also have to understand that everything you need is here. But you've got to be specific. It's not good enough to say, I want more money. You see 10 cents laying on the street and you pick it up, you've got more money. That's the truth. Sounds silly, but it's the truth. You've got more money. You could be a waiter. Somebody leaves you a nice tip. You got more money. That's not it. You got to be specific how much more money. You know exactly what you want. Yet you don't have to know where it's going to come from. You do not have to understand all the basic principles between sending the picture to the person on the other side of the world for it to get there. All you have to do is know how to do it. Just get the picture, fix it, hit send. They got it. Want is the only prerequisite for making a decision. Now, do you know, that is so important, you should write it down. Write it somewhere that you're going to see it often. Maybe get a sign and put it up in your house. Want is the only prerequisite to get what you want.